back, everyone, to the V4 Future Sports Festival. I'm Jason Kappen, still joined by Tom as we make our way through. Well, we're past the halfway point of the day. We had 4 best of 3s to go through today. We've already done 2 of them, and now we're into
2 and a bit.
2 and a bit. 2 and a bit. I think that's the official term, a bit, for a map. And we have a surprising result already in our first map of this series between MIBR and gamerzone. gamerzone up 1-0 as they took down MIBR on Inferno, and now look to do so yet again on Train.
I think I'm going to have to color like the middle bit of my shirt white and then the other bit red so that it's the correct flag color now. Because currently it looks like I'm a Brazilian, but maybe it's just part of the gamerzone flag.
Sure. I just want to see you break out the paint and in the middle of our game to start painting yourself.
Yeah, it's probably not the best idea, I'll be honest, especially when it gets to the last game of the day, when it's Mouse Sports versus Trick, because they're both kind of red. It wouldn't go too well. But
how dare they both be kind of red?
Continue to paint. But yeah, no, a big surprise with gamerzone able to take the first map, and well, if they take the second, I think we're all going to be blown away. Like, that would be a very surprising way for them to kick off this tournament. MIBR now onto their choice of Train. So expecting a little bit more from them here. Maybe they just haven't quite developed their map pool just yet, but seem to be going very well in this pistol round. Left onto just Arby. Can't really expect him to pull off the 1v4 in the pistol round. They are going to be getting fairly aggressive against him, but no fear from MIBR, and a much better start already from Taco. Like, he had a very slow game. It seemed like he was very much out of place when it came to that previous map, but already a much better start.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you can talk about how if maybe he was playing a little bit better, it would have been a win for them. But I mean, at the same rate, Corey was a little bit lackluster as well, with only like 5 or 6 kills. So you can't really kind of, you know, look at it that kind of way. But then again, it's a new map. It's a new, well, I was gonna say new day, but it's really not. It's still Wednesday. For another.
Didn't even know it was Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. We won't know what date it is next week either when we continue our tour. But Torzy, this is the man we were all really looking at when it came to the last map on Inferno. His op play was phenomenal. He really stood out and did a fantastic job for his team, and was one of the pivotal points for them taking that victory. Not really expecting too much of them on the CT side in this round in particular, since we've already seen 2 quick kills come in for MIBR, but I wonder if they're going to continue to be as vocal as they were before in this map. I think they're going to need it almost. It's almost like a 6-man when you get the motivation, when you get that play in your team being so vocal like Torzy was. It got them all riled up, and well, I think it even broke some mics. I don't think it actually did, but
yeah, it definitely depends on their team. Like, I know, like, there's some players who are a lot calmer within their gameplay, and like being slapped on the back and like shouted at definitely does not benefit them in any way.
And then there's ENG who just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but they're Finnish.
Yeah,
like they're born that way, born in the calm, in the zen.
I wonder if the Vikings were like that back in the day. They didn't show any emotions.
Yes, we won the war.
It wasn't really a war, I don't think. Well, either way, 2-0 for MIBR. Save coming back for gamerzone. A nade picked up for RB. Well, speaking of nades, they took a hell of a lot of it. Him and Crazy Deer. And Crazy Deer, again, he was also very quiet on the T side of Inferno, but when it came to CT side, he really started to step up, especially in the early control. The pistol round, he was able to pick up, I think it was a 3K, and then he was able to get quite a few kills later on, just with some like random aggression he was able to pull off. And KNG, he is hunting for blood with his MAC-10. He wants the money. He sees the dollar bills as green as his weapon.
Well, yeah, wants to pretty much pay for that AWP going into the next round, but instead, Taco trying to balance those stats a little bit. It's a bit of a wild spray, but it's still going to net him an extra kill and some extra money. There will be enough for him to buy an AWP into the next round if he so desires. We might just see a little bit of a faster play. Fur as well has got off to a flying start in these early rounds, and he was great on the CT side, 11-4, and then really fell off when it came to their T side. So hoping they can pretty much keep the positives from the previous map, such as Fall and Zorping, and maybe add a few little bits to that to try and get to their T side. But we are going to have KNG buying up that early AWP, so gets rid of his MAC-10, and well, this is something that will be brought in on the opposing side as well.
I wonder if we're going to see the double up set up again. Torzy and Corey out of gamerzone. Obviously, Train a map that's very nice to use it for. with the inside side, of course, outside. Ooh, did he got a cross. Okay, well, the nade just gave it away, but that could have been potentially a free kill.
More importantly, KNG's actually managed to get that opening pick, starting things off onto Orbi. I do somewhat fear for gamerzone if they're a little bit slower off the mark this time. I think MIBR will punish them for it. Obviously not wanting to let this first series slip away from them, because who knows what happens later in the tournament. Seeding can play a big part, especially when you look at the sort of the other side of the group. You finish in second in your group, you could be playing up against Mouse Sports fairly early on, which, although they may not have had the greatest performance earlier in the day, they're still not someone you want to meet later in the tournament. Lucas will catch out another. There's a couple of low players still within the server at the moment. Taco and Lucas both below 50 HP, so... Oh, sorry. Lucas and KNG.
Oh, there we go. Torzy gets one. And then quickly traded out by Fall, and very aggressive hold out of him, too, with the position he was at. And Corey... There we go. Nice little kill out of him. Does put things back to a 2-on-2, and the two players on low HP are the two remaining here for MIBR. And KNG all left alone with quite a bit to do. Spots the gun to the wall, but can't quite hit the shot. 6 seconds left. He's looking to potentially just save this weapon, but Crazy is going to take it out of his hands, and there we go. gamerzone take their first round here on Train on the CT side. Problem is, MIBR still have a lot of money to spend. So we have to do it yet again here to hopefully get MIBR a little bit closer to being bankrupt.
Yeah, good turnaround, because that started quite nicely with KNG able to get that opener. And I do like the fact that there doesn't seem to be any level of, I would say, fear from the gamerzone side. Like, they're not playing against MIBR with, like, over amounts of sort of worry about, okay, we're playing it against a top team.
They look like they're playing the way they want to. They don't feel like they're like being suffocated or kind of in their own heads about their opponents. They're just playing the game as if they're just against another team. And I think it's kind of shown. I mean, it obviously has, as you see them pick up the first map. Looks like it's going to be an all-in towards the inner sight. KNG watching towards upper, towards the back. Looking for a potential connection.
Looking like the execution's about to begin. Nays being thrown over the top, upper control being taken as Corey to get the opening pick. And in fact, a second one goes in. KNG unable to connect the shot. Could have saved Fur in that scenario instead. He's now left just fallen to support. Bomb is going to be planted, but they haven't managed to take any map control at all. It's only really the watch from behind, and there's nobody coming in from that direction. It's going to be the remaining CTs all pushing together, but the first pick does come in. The spot as well from Fallen. He knows there's somebody here, but he can't quite connect the shots, and both players now too low to reface any of these battles. This should be an easy kill for both, in fact. Hussar, no problems for him, and that will be a second round on the board already for gamerzone.
Are they not going to rescue the op? Okay, guess not. KNG had one. And I believe... Actually, I don't know. Did they rebuy an op into that round? I didn't see. Or did they rescue... I think they rescued towards his op, but they didn't even rescue it in that last round. The one prior, they rescued it. A little bit unfortunate, but well done. Good hold. Actually, Corey as well had quite a few kills, and he pointed out, you know, KNG, he connected onto the leg of Corey. Was able to save his teammate. If he hit the shot in the chest, obviously, it could have been a different round there.
Yeah.
But there we go, gamerzone. They do get MIBR on a shoddy buy. KNG on the scout. Not really much utility used for the Brazilians. If gamerzone can take this round, we could be looking at them taking the lead.
Oh, that was a messy spray. Trying to get around the electric box. And instead, we've had 4 instant returns. They've been absolutely decimated, trying to go for a faster play out of A main, and instead have been met by the gamers. Maybe they're called
Gamers 1.
Gamers 1.
I was trying to think of something else to go on the lines of that, but I didn't want to sound even more stupid than I already did, so. 3-3.
It does say 1G.
We haven't had it happen yet. You should have saved that one.
It'll be coming. Here we go, though. Fast play. An attempt to get the bomb down. Good defensive Molotov thrown out by Crazy, and then Corey, well, I'm pretty sure he almost just got half his kills from the whole of the previous map in one foul swoop. No bomb plant for MIBR, no extra cash to be brought in, but they will still have the finances anyway to be able to get that AWP chucked over to KNG. Though it's currently in the hands of Taco, unless he's got the right spawn, which... I think he does. I think he has the best spawn to go for a peek into middle. So that's actually why you're going to see Taco kicking things off with the AWP. In fact, he's going to go over towards the B side. I'm interested to see what he's actually going to do with this AWP.
I'm looking for some aggression towards ladder room, which unfortunately for him did not come. A little bit of a light hold by gamerzone actually towards the inner site. I think that's just crazy to left his own devices. Trying to play a little bit back, so if they do come this direction, he would not be traded on. But they have the op in the hands of Corey, by the way. We should note this because Torzy was the one using it for the most part in Inferno. He's used it for the most part here on Train as well. But he seems to be content with the AUG at the moment.
Going to be kicking things off. Yeah, Corey off to actually a much better start as well, so there could be an important thing to note. A quick trade back the aggression of RB into A main. And a 2-2 split for the defense. And there's actually a wraparound coming in through Ivy as well. They could have the rotations cut off here, but they've got to get the actual entries into the site. And, well, Crazy still just sat on the bomb train, gets the first, knows that the other's looking to plant the bomb, but a little bit too aggressive, and Fallen catches him. KNG's traded, but now Lucas is on that flank. They're never going to expect him to be this far around. If he goes through the spawn, surely he should have at least one kill, but Fallen has to survive. He needs to last long enough for Lucas to get into position. Just needs to try and burn down that time, but they know exactly where he is. There's the clearance, and now they don't know where the last one is until Lucas shoots and misses the spot. Now they could just get onto that defusal. He knows he has to go running, and the denial of the time is just going to be enough. Corey sacrificed his life for that defusal. And while Lucas is trying to clear out the remaining player, he will fail, and the round will slip away.
Again, if I'm not mistaken, they had an op on site there that they could have picked up. Again, opting for the AUG. I think that was Corey holding it.
I don't know.
Well, either way. gamerzone. Strong start. 5-3. And we had seen quite a few plants consistently coming in for MIBR, so the money, it's still technically there to buy with, but you can see that something's not working correctly for them. And I don't know if it's just the random aggression that gamers are throwing at them every once in a while. I don't know if it's a style defensively that they're holding with, or just people are stepping up when they need them to. Because we can already see Corey, who was really struggling on Inferno. He was 5 kills, I think, at the end of that one. Currently on 9, almost doubling that in just 8 rounds alone. Torzy hasn't even needed to really step up. He's currently sitting at 4, and Hussar's had quite a few great kills as well to really help start the initial frags, or at least return them, as KNG is able to start things off mostly with the entry frags. But I wonder, the closer they get to 16, I wonder if they're going to be able to keep their composure. So we always talk about, getting that 15th round, well, is hard, but getting that 16th, it seems to be even harder for some teams. Honestly, that's still a long ways away.
And again, we're going to see Pop Dog control taken early on by the T's. They've been handed this pretty much for free. It doesn't seem like a position that gamerzone particularly want to try and challenge.
That's a good point, yeah. Because they did it, I think, 2-3 rounds earlier where they just dropped down. And then Taco did another round where there was no one even there, so.
Happy to just have their more passive A setup. They've currently got 4 players on that side of the map with just Crazy left alone. Fairly common strategy on Train, just to have the one anchor, and then he sort of needs to have his utility available. Doesn't really have too much, in fact, just a singular flashbang left. It may not matter, though, as it seems that the remaining players from MIBR are going to try force their way in towards this site. Don't know how Zara even lasts that long. They've done a lot of damage in return. That's the thing. Most of the players, in fact, all of the players are tagged to some degree. on the MIBR side, and Torzi already going to pick up another. The trade will be in from Lucas. Looking to push a little bit further forward. Crazy just peeks out. Risky peek, and it's not going to work out. Still, though, the trades come back. It's left into the 1 versus 1. 20 seconds left. Fur's going to be able to retrieve that bomb. Spots his opponent, and both players unable to finish things off. It's down to the pistols. A messy one at that. And this is the longest fight in existence, but finally Fur will finish it.
7 HP left, too. There's 7 bullets left in RB's gun in this chamber, and unfortunately just ran out at the wrong time. But MIBR do take a round that they desperately needed. That could have been a 6-5 or 6-3 scoreline. I did like the position that Hussar was using behind the E-box. Just because the way the smoke came out, he had this like sliver of a line of sight to use to see players crossing, but unfortunately the shots coming in from T-Connector just caught him off, forced him out of position, and he eventually did fall. But gamerzone now taking a timeout here to talk some things over. Their money is, well, it's pretty much just gone. It's pretty much been thrown completely into this round. You can see the MP9 picked up for Hussar. They do have a double log set up yet again, and Torzi back on the AWP.
Yeah, he's pretty much had to bail them out of this round with the amount of money he had left in the bank. $11,000 spent, and even still he can't afford Kevlar. But I think they know that this is pretty much a crunch time round within this first half. If they can steal this round back, MIBR, although they'll have some loss bonus behind them, will still struggle to get a buy, especially without a bomb plant. And it seems like they're going back to basics here, an aggressive push coming out. Maybe trying to sell a little bit of a fake Lucas just being left to his own devices, but he's already eliminated. And the rest of the team are going to come in so late. I think they were hoping that he'd get far more done. Instead, they're going to start being cleared up. They've been sectioned out one by one so far. The Jules Hussar a little bit ambitious with that push, but he still does damage.
Bomb's actually being fake planted here. Fallen runs straight toward the Z connector. Will flashed up. Gets cleaned up. And KNG with the op with a minute and 10 seconds. I would imagine it'd be very difficult for him to hold this. But just take down Torzi, so it makes it expensive. The thing is, gamerzone can't really afford to lose too many players because the money on their side is just pretty much non-existent. They need to be very careful about how they do take down this last player. I see him being very adamant and just holding these lines. Don't allow him to get any sort of ground.
And the patience, though, from KNG. I think at this point they'd be expecting him to have made some sort of move. But he's just been holding the angle, hoping that somebody gives him the shot, and instead Corey just takes his head clean off. The lead confirmed by gamerzone. The money now an issue once again for MIBR. But even still, though, you do have to bear in mind, this is the T side of Train. Like, we expect the CT side to have the heavier margin. Even if gamerzone gets to, say, 9, even 10 rounds, you wouldn't necessarily say they were safe on this map. However, the way they have been playing has been impressive so far.
Yeah, 100%. We're even seeing gamerzone rescue a double up setup into this round. Back to Corey and Torzi. And MIBR back on the force up. Just the pistols. Scout picked up for Fallen. Mach 10 for Fur. Really interesting to see that even Hussar, again, he's not holding really towards Pop Dog. He's still sitting outside of it. We don't have anyone tucked inside like you normally see. Nice little jump out comes in. Crazier's actually missing out on the first shot. Or she misses the spray down as well. And we see the first kill come in for Made in Brazil.
Yeah, this is already a success. They get the bomb down now. They can look to just try and fight from this position. Scout onto Fallen. This can be the incendiary just thrown in to try and clear some of these angles. Nice shot at least onto Arby, dinked up. But he'll return the favor. Leaves Fallen alone. We've seen him do ridiculous things from this position, but I don't think there's anything he can do to stop this defusal. Well held by gamerzone. Sure, the bomb goes down and money's going to be made for MIBR to at least get themselves a decent buy into the next round, but the CT side also makes some cash themselves.
Yeah, and gamerzone only lost 1 player too, so it's not like they have to buy up and invest too heavily into this next round. Yeah, I wonder if it was like the back and forth nature of Inferno, or maybe it's just the map itself that didn't make gamerzone feel comfortable to use a double op setup. Because again, we saw Corey on like 5 kills at the end of that map. Maybe he's feeling a lot more confident when it comes to AWP because he's definitely shown it. I think he's leading his team in kills at the moment.
I think also just that he wasn't having a particularly good game, so you don't want to be investing like 4,750 every time you die. Like, that's a good way to destroy your own economy. Like, they tried it once, it didn't work, so they went, okay, like, just try to do what you can with a rifle. But if he's feeling good on this map, and it's a map where a double op setup is far more effective, like it's more common than not, if anything. Whereas if you look towards a map like Inferno, some teams don't even run an AWP at all, so definitely a different scenario. Double op even brought in for the T side in this round, Fallen and KNG, but Fallen has fallen, and Lucas has now retrieved that weapon. Just hoping to play a bit more of a pick play style, but I can't really see that working too well. It seems like, at least in terms of just individual skill, gamerzone seem to match up, at least at the moment. We've seen the better plays coming out from their side of the board.
You see with how aggressive they're holding some of these positions, especially on the outside bomb site, that MIBR are having to clear every single angle. RB just escapes just barely here, being shot at. A couple different players. Flashbangs comes through and he gets a spray down onto Fur, and again, another kill comes in for gamerzone, up 2. And so it's finally been able to show some presence in towards ladder room. Fortunately for him, no one's really come this direction. Lucas has been able to sneak his way in through Ivy. So now the players actually pushed up. Like, RB are in a tough spot. They're being shot from the front, they're being shot from behind, and this is where the defense starts to fall.
Even still, it goes back into a 2 versus 2. And the bomb was dropped so close to the end that it actually runs out of time. Like, that is somewhat ridiculous. I didn't even notice that the clock had ticked that far.
Well, we do have the op picked up for Fallen, at least saved from the last round. gamerzone up 8-4 now.
The thing that is sort of so surprising to me, at least, is that MIBR don't even look that much like a team. Like, a lot of this just seems to be off individual basis. That kill was actually so valuable. I didn't realize there was 6 seconds on the clock, but yeah, like, even still, I don't think he was going to make it to the site. And yeah, like I said, like, we see Lucas some of the time just running out onto the A site, hoping he can get a pick, running out Ivy, taking fights. Then you have KNG a little bit later peeking out a main. It seems like, okay, sure, they're still going for a few trades, but they're relying so much on individual picks, and I do think that maybe a proper setup towards this B side or something might actually be the right remedy. We've seen them get very close to winning rounds with just pistols. Like, they've at least been getting the bomb down. That flashbang was perfect. KNG just completely left Craze blind, but Corey has at least been able to find one back. The wraparound, he's not prepared for it. Fur gets so far forward, the second and the third shot as well. Fur has finally burst into life and will eventually be traded, but it doesn't even matter. The T's have got themselves around, and well, it may not have necessarily been off the craziest team play, but at least Fur is hitting shots.
And gamerzone don't really have any money to spend. Corey currently sitting on 6,300. I don't really expect them to be dropping, and as you mentioned, that flash of the KNG just completely catching him off guard. There was no chance that Crazy was going to be able to fight back on that one, and as you mentioned before, MIBR seem to be playing as individuals. Well, when you have Fur hitting individual shots like that, maybe we can have a chance here for the Brazilians to get back in this game. Again, early ladder room control going over to MIBR. Look at this push coming in. That catches them off guard just slightly, at least enough to pick up 1 kill. And the rest of the players will be waiting there in a stack still.
This is a situation, like as said, a 9-6 half is somewhat normal on the CT side of train. So I would even start to lean this towards MIBR if they manage to get this back to an 8-7 scoreline. And going on to the CT side, as said, they've got one of the deadliest double AWP setups around, although what is going on? Corey's just managed to get another one with the D. Surely there shouldn't be anything more here for him, and thankfully for MIBR, he ran out of bullets. That's not the prettiest fight in the world, but sure, Fallen will win it in the end. And they do get themselves back to 8-6. There is going to be a purchase, of course, because it is the last round of the half, but things have started to slip away from gamerzone over the last couple of rounds. Like, And that's something that can definitely happen. Like, okay, sure, the pistol and follow-up definitely gave a big boost to MIBR, but losing, well, 2, potentially 3 of the last 3 rounds, it's not what you want to see. Like, you want to close out the half in a strong fashion.
We'll see if they can at least pull out on the 9-6 scoreline. Corey back on the rifle for Torzi, who's going to be on the AWP.
Corey's actually been doing really well. 17 and 8 at the moment. Both joint top fragger with Fur. He's had some of those pinnacle rounds for MIBR. I'm looking to do it again already. Snuck out of A main.
Such this position to hold from right there. I was going to say, like, if you miss that shot, you're dead.
Question is, at this point, do you expect him to miss?
Well, I'm worried about ladder room too. It's not even smoked off anymore. They could just walk down ladder room and he's dead.
No, I think that is him dead. The nades are the problem. It gave away the information to Fur, just lurking outside. And now the Ivy push actually looks to come in from the rest of MIBR. Rotation away from Hussar. Actually going to give them a lot of space. 45 seconds left on the clock, not leaving it so late. Hussar waiting on the other side of the smoke. He's got to be careful because there's multiple players there. He gets right into the face of Fall, and the bomb's going to be dropped on the ground. The clock is ticking away, and just in time, Lucas will save his teammate. Even still, though, the trade comes back in. Corey managing to find another one. He seems to be on point this map. Bomb's finally going to be going down. Taco and Lucas to hold.
Taco currently on 5 kills, looking to change that here in these last 2. Corey currently at 18, looking to charge straight forward. Spots out a player towards E-Box. Crazier, unfortunately, is going to be the one to fall from this. And there we go. Lucas closes it out. I mean, we'll see an 8-7 first half score. Still, though, in favor of gamerzone. I still have to kind of question and wonder that aggressive play out of Torzi. It's not the first time we've seen it, holding with the AWP that far up. But again, you see just like one misstep, one nade being thrown out with a player there.
Yeah, it has to be said that Fur was in a very aggressive position, but I think that just seems to be like part of his style of play. Like, he is not a passive AWPer. And I think that if you're an in-game leader of a team and you have someone like him who's going to be playing in these almost cocky positions, I think is a good way to put it. Like, positions that you basically rely so much on your individual skill to win it. I don't think you want to be telling him not to do that, because then he might be holding passive angles where he's not necessarily going to hit the shot.
I just get worried. What if there's a second player there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it's not safe.
Yeah.
But I don't think you want to be putting an AWPer like him in safe positions. Like, you want him to be making these aggressive plays. Unfortunately, it's very hit and miss. Sometimes he'll get the openers, sometimes he'll die. Like, that's just how it's going to be.
Well, we'll see how it goes on the T side for him, where he can afford to be more aggressive. Not as much punishment. KNG low on HP. Down to 19.
Yeah, this will be an important pistol round for gamerzone. They need to get off to a strong start on the T side. This is a map where if you sort of give the CTs that double orb setup, you give them all the economy, they can pretty much just burn you out of the rounds. And well, that's what they're attempting to do to KNG, but it doesn't quite reach to him. We're going to see Gray's getting very aggressive. They didn't know KNG was still around the bomb train, and it's going to be a trade back, but even still, the CTs have got themselves a slight lead, although the trade out onto KNG will mean that they're able to get the bomb down, but there is a hot flank coming in as well that they've got to be careful about, needing a kill or two to even have a chance in this round. Corey is going to find out about Fur, but this is where the flank comes in from behind.
Well, it looks like Fallen's been able to do the deed himself here, able to take down 2. Lucas is going to fall. Corey 1v1 up against Fallen, who already has 3 kills. 18 seconds left to go on the clock. Smoke's going to come in. Fallen has a kid as well. He could probably just hold this one the entire time. And Corey through the smoke saves the round and gets in that pistol as you were talking about before, Tom.
Imagine doing that with 1 bullet. That's disgusting.
I mean, Fallen, I feel like he played that right as well. Put the smoke down, sits on the defuse.
Yeah, no, these couple of kills from Fallen was disgusting, but it's this last one.
Oh, he saw him right before the smoke plume, too. That's why.
Well, 9-7, they get themselves the pistol. The double scout going to be coming in onto Fallen and Fur.
You know, we talk about, about Corey in the last map only having like 5 kills, but now he's leading. He's been able to clutch out like this so many times. He's on 22, if I'm not mistaken. He's got to be feeling good, and that's going to be a scary thing considering gamerzone already won the last map with his performance being a little, well, being lackluster. Great signs for gamerzone and great signs for Hungary here. Again, this wasn't even a team that was expected to make it through into this. This was like the 3rd best team in Hungary, able to beat on Salamanders in Budapest 5, and yet they were competing against some of the best in the world. Getting a little ahead of myself. It's only 9-7. But they're looking damn good. They're definitely getting a lot of fans out there, I'd say.
I was about to say competed. Like, they won the first map. They're doing very well. They're in the lead here. I do still think that this is the moment you can't get ahead of yourself. Like, because this is the T side of Train. This is one of the toughest sides of any map in Counter-Strike at the moment. Especially when you come up against MIBR, no matter how they've been playing so far. Like, if you get KNG and Fallen with this double AWP setup, like, that is a scary prospect, no matter the situation. But I do have to say, it's very enjoyable to watch. That was a disgusting pre-fire, by the way. Like, what was that? He knows.
Torzy just doing Torzy things, I guess.
Well, the T side. They've got to be careful here. Look at the push all the way down Ivy. Like, this is so much information gathered from the CT side. In fact, they're already going to be coming up on the flank. I think Hazard might have heard it, and he's given the information over onto Arby. A nice attempt from MIBR. I like the idea. Clearly, the footsteps were heard, and KNG get surfed on. That is another round on the board. A clean one at that, so lots of money already built up for gamerzone. But this is where the big boy guns come in. The double AWP setup straight out from MIBR. This is what we wanted to see. A much quieter game from Fallen. He was the best player for MIBR in the previous map, and in this one, he's yet to really show up. Taco still seems like he's having a little bit of an off day. Some guns sound really nice in slow motion. Like, I like the AK sound.
Some sound like pea shooters.
Yeah, the SMGs sound like trash.
Oh, Crazy Day rushes straight through the smoke, and that's a collateral for KNG. Talked about the double AWP setup, but you didn't mention the double kills with it.
The double with the double AWP. Now Fallen has to do the same. Taco just going to be surviving. The bomb will go down. That's a lot of extra money thrown into the accounts of gamerzone. They'll have a buy at least for the next round, but now let's see what damage they can do. This was only the sort of bonus round, what they had with the SMGs. They do have an incendiary, but yeah, that's not going to work. They've got themselves a smoke available to them to put that out. Not done it in the best of fashions, but yeah, KNG's watching the upper position. Not going to be missing the shot, and that's the man you want to step up and have that quad.
Well, there we go. I mean, you talked about the fabled double AWP setup and how scary it can be for this team. Yeah, throwaway round for gamerzone, but we're going to see as we move into the next with the AWP picked up for them for Torzy. He's going to be able to compete against the defensive side for the Brazilians. And Fallen. Nice little double assist there with a flash as well. Well placed out of him. So here we go. And around 20. Don't tell me he's going to get aggressive in middle as well. I'm looking for this. How bad does he want it is my question. Too bad, I guess. Too much.
Oh, this is aggressive from Lucas. Flashbang came over the top. They already have the man advantage. A risk maybe not needed, as it will be traded out. Arby keeps gamerzone in this round. Double AWP is still standing. But you're going to see the boost that gives them a little bit of vision through the window. You can see anybody on the top of the front couple of trains, but there's not going to be anybody up there, so nothing really gained other than information. Fallen definitely wary of players being around that smoke. They've actually gone for quite a loose hold of this A site. Fallen starting to lurk back around, but it's more just the patience of the T side, waiting to see if there's any level of aggression, any information hunting from MIBR. Though as of yet, nada.
Looks like it's faking an inner hit. Rotate the 2 players out through a lot of room, I guess. But like I said, looser holds coming through. Taco's pushing for information. He spots him out. Now realizes, yep, no one else is really coming towards B. The push towards outer has now been made. Fur's gonna tap. Oh my gosh. Fur and Fallen now. He will take 2 quick kills. Crazy they're able to get 1. Not able to get the second though, unfortunately. And there we go, MIBR. Now get themselves up to 9. And gamerzone still have the money to buy here. See, this is like the we've seen like the ups and downs too. Aggressive opping. The upside, you get kills that they don't expect. The downside is sometimes you just get caught early in the round and it puts your team already a foot behind when you really don't need it.
But I think that's fine. Like
I'm not like hating on it or anything. I'm just describing it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those roles within a team that is not always necessary, but it can be very, very valuable. Like you can talk about that legendary Fnatic roster where they had 2 different teams within the team. It was Team JW and then Team everybody else. Like, if you look at some of the plays he used to make on Inferno, they made absolutely no sense. It would just be him pushing everything he can. But that was one of the hardest things in the whole of Counter-Strike history to play against. And then the other 4 players were good enough that they could continue to play if he went down. Now, that is something that's very, very difficult to recreate, but I think that this gamerzone team pretty much do have that as part of their game, where it's like, okay, we know that if we give Torzy the role of being able to do what he wants, being able to take these aggressive peaks, sometimes he's going to win us rounds on his own. He's going to get us picks that we shouldn't be able to get, or the rest of us may not be able to do. And if he does die, then we've just got to try and work on the trades. And on a map like Train, that's not a bad thing, because finding openings in this map is very difficult for the T side.
You also can't forget, 17 years old.
Yep.
Really young player and already be able to show he can compete against.
He hasn't developed fear yet. So it's only confidence.
Well, for his sake and how this match is going, I hope he doesn't develop any fear anytime soon. Because it's been, honestly, great to see. See Molotov's being thrown in, getting separated through the entire team of gamerzone, trying to execute on the outside. Well, all that utility pretty much being wasted now, as it's just a Molotov or 2 and a grenade left for gamerzone. Nope.
This is a mistake. There's absolutely no one watching Ivy. Like, Arby's just pushed out and managed to find himself 2 kills. This could be the opener into the round that they need. They had 3 people around that angle, and not one of them was watching that direction. Now it turns into KNG and Taco trying to save this round. They're gonna take the shot. Taco will be able to get a kill back in. They've got to be wary of a player around the corner. Are they going to be able to spot any sort of scope? They know that he's there, and a great cleanup in the end, but that was almost a catastrophic mistake from MIBR that nobody was watching that position.
Unfortunate for RB too. He got a triple kill off of that.
Yeah.
Well, they still get the bomb plant either way, so they still get some money on their side. That's one saving grace that we have to mention at least.
Yeah, I still think like maybe 1 or 2 players could get an AK if they really wanted to try and force something, but I'd like to just see them go for an aggressive B play. It is the most sort of common thing that you can do in this game when you have pistols, but the reason for that is that it works. But yeah, this is sort of the mistake. Like, normally that player over towards like Hell is watching Ivy, just like as a last resort, or you have someone wrap around, but instead everybody was fully focused towards the front. So maybe a communication error, maybe just a slight slip up from MIBR, but luckily for them, they get away with it.
We do have a little buy for gamerzone with the pistols, the utility, and some armor. Taco trying to prevent any sort of rush from coming in towards inner. Unfortunate part is that you have KNG playing far away. You have Taco not playing far away. They have to close this distance with the pistols, and Crazier's able to get 1. Can they recover the weapon without burning to death? You talked about gamerzone 1G, or gamers 1G, but not happening this time.
Oh, they managed to get very aggressive. I wonder if they'll go for a little bit of a different bomb plant. Oh my no, not the CZ! Shot is loaded a little bit early. Nice shot from Arby. We'll be able to turn 1 back. Bomb plant's in a little bit of an interesting position. KNG so quick to close out Arby, and now it's left. Well, this is not going to work. Like, the bomb is not planted for him. KNG has just been killer with that AWP since he's had it back. But all in all, Not a bad round. Bomb plant, couple of kills. Definitely looked like there could have been a moment there, and I think they're going to regret that sort of CZ miss, because that could have been a chance to get them into the round. 11-11. MIBR, I would say, are now favored in this matchup on the CT side, and 4 rounds in a row for them.
That's one of those moments that you just, you're literally in a nightmare. You know? You're trying to run after something and you can't move.
Fallen as well. Like, I don't think any other players could have been as calm as he was there, because he even scoped in to get that kill. Like, he took the time to scope in and make sure he wasn't going to miss. Whereas I probably would have panicked, thrown my AWP at him by accident, and then died.
Well, let's be honest. You and I probably would have died just trying to get into the site before we had an opportunity to flank someone like that. They do have Torzi back on the op, though, and they have a lot of presence towards Ivy. As you pointed out before, maybe a weak point for MIBR in this map, at least currently in this match.
The thing is, that's one of those mistakes that I feel like gamerzone needed to capitalize on. Like, they did do damage, but they didn't win the round, and that's one of those rounds where MIBR are now going to go, okay, we completely messed up on Ivy. Yeah, we will not do that again. Like, the chances of them making the same mistake are slim. If they do, then yeah, sure, maybe that is a weak point, but you can already see that Taco has literally not moved from Ivy. He is just stood there waiting. He's letting the other players get aggressive. Lucas is going to be traded out, but even still, the man advantage sticks with the CT side, and Fallen now in aggressive position as well. We're not going to have to fade away from Ivy, but more of just a reposition, and it seems like the whole team are aware of it now, so it's not like the same scenario as before where it was just open and nobody was aware of it. They definitely seem to know, and well, an even bigger problem that we know is that Fur is currently wrapping round from behind. This should be round over. Easy kill for him. Bomb dropped. A little amount of time left on the clock, and he's even just going to throw a smoke on it just for bad measure. Crazy trying to do his best, but there's nothing he can do in this scenario. MIBR take the lead after a streak of 5 rounds in a row.
So gamerzone, you said you wanted to see maybe a quick play towards inner, maybe an execute towards inner. I do like how they realized Ivy might be a weak point, but even three players they had there, it was not really effective. Maybe picking up the pace is something they want to be doing. You can see Crazier's already able to push in. Taco again, just shoulder peeking. Gonna do a typical thing, throw the incendiary down, back away. Yeah. Gonna guess that's KNG there to support him. Yep, it is.
Yeah, I think the pistol execution that they actually pulled off was quite good. Like, they had the Molotovs to force people out of the angles. They had the smokes to allow them to drop down. It's just, a lot of teams don't want to do that when they have the rifles in their hand, even if it was a successful round. Or you look at it as go, okay, we lost that round, so it didn't work. But you lost it because you had pistols, not because the setup itself wasn't good. Minute left on the clock nonetheless, as we will see somewhat of a rotation back towards B, although they seem quite disjointed at this point, looking like more of a default play. The standoff will happen on towards the upper B position. Assar having a bit more of a quiet one over the last few rounds, and Taco, if he hits this timing right, he could end the round right here and now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so he doesn't get the kill.
Panicked a bit.
Nate comes in, he's pretty much sanctioned off now, but KNG gets a double.
God, again.
2-for-1 special. Down to a 2-on-4. gamerzone. Gonna be tough to get the bomb down, especially with the beat on the ground.
God.
And there you go, KNG. 4 kills from in this round.
We need a replay of that for sure. That was a disgusting round from KNG, just absolutely destroying them. And this was the worry. He's now 23-14. We've seen the comeback from Fallen as well. Not quite the kill I wanted to see, but close enough.
We got in the end, though, at least to see the 2K. Money's not there yet again for gamerzone, though. It actually might work out in their favor. Just the fact that it might force them to play a little bit quicker, a little bit faster paced. Problem is, they can't even like sneak through to go for the pistol play, like the set Molotovs and stuff, because Taco just keeps shoulder peeking them, spotting them crossing, and they don't get to actually get set up for it.
Yeah, the thing is that there still isn't a similar setup to what they were doing before. The setup they had was that they smoked onto upper B, and then threw the Molotovs over the top and then ran down the ramp. Instead, they're just peeking into Taco. He goes, they're there, throws down a Molotov, and then the round's basically over. And they're not doing anything towards upper, so I don't know. Maybe strategy has gone out of the window just because things aren't going very well, but with now what is a 7-round streak for MIBR, this is sort of the worry. As I said, it's one of the toughest sides of any map. And MIBR are showing why.
The problem is gamerzone will be fighting up this hill the entirety of the rest of this map, even if they do win these rounds. KNG getting aggressive, gets one. Not getting much more than that after, as Corey's able to chime in as well. Problem is it's still been equalized, down to a 3-on-3. As I was saying before, even winning this round in the next few, it won't really matter. MIBR are going to be able to buy pretty much to the end. Well, not to the end, but relatively close. That even gets to that point because we have a 2-on-2 now. And a flank coming in yet again out of Fur.
Now we've started to see some much better rounds out from Taco, and Fur has been probably the deadliest player on train, 25 and 15, and he's always on the flank. Every single time he sneaks in from behind. And this will be as easy as you like. Just looking to try and find out where that second player is, and he's worked it out. There's the first, the second as well. He doesn't even need Taco. Maybe that's why he was questioning whether he's a support player, because some of the times, Fur doesn't even need the support.
27 for Fur, 25 for KNG. Corey at 24 for gamerzone. We're now going into map point for MIBR. And gamerzone's money, well, they have enough to buy, obviously. But not enough for an op. And to be fair, Torzy's been quiet on the T side, but I feel like we haven't seen too many rounds where he's been able to afford the AWP anyways. Seems like MIBR have had his number every single time he's been able to bring it to the table to attack with. But I wonder if their minds are already cast forward towards Mirage. Obviously, no, it's a massive map in Brazil. It's how Fallen and his team got started back in the day on Luminosity with the upset over Fnatic.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the positions where gamerzone are going to be starting to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. They were in the lead for an awful long time, and then this T side has just fallen apart. 8 rounds in a row for MIBR. They need one of the next 4 to be able to close this out, and nothing has even looked close to taking down this Brazilian
the closest
side.
round was when we had RB flanker through Ivy and actually catch 3 people off guard.
That was a mistake.
Exactly.
That was more a mistake from MIBR rather than a specifically good play. Like, obviously, it took him to actually make the play in the first place to realize the mistake, but even still, aggressive play once again going to be made out towards Ivy. Opening pick for Lucas, slightly trapped. He can try and use the grenade to sort of mask himself getting away.
He didn't even get away, he's still there. Okay, now eventually he runs.
In the meantime, though, that's the thing. He gets away, and also they gain a ridiculous amount of map control. Taco's pushed all the way through. This is the MIBR we expected to see when facing off against the Hungarian side. Just taking ridiculous amounts of map control, flashing themselves back into angles while they already have a man advantage. Oh, okay. Well, KNG's just been owned, but they still have the man advantage. The rest of the team can just move on, and well, it's left all onto Torzy. There's nothing he can do. Fur has been unstoppable in this second map.
He legged him on that shot, too. Nice shot, but not good enough, unfortunately. It didn't really matter. Not to get stopped the actual match from going to MIBR's way. 16-11, the final score there. And I think a sigh of relief can be breathed out of MIBR after that victory, after it did not look too good on Inferno.
Yeah, and even in this map, it looked like if they didn't get rolling, if we didn't see some big plays start to come out from, from both Fur and KNG, then this could have easily been a 2-0. Like, it was a 9-round streak, I think, in the end, where MIBR eventually brought it back. And, well, now you go into Mirage, and you kind of have to feel that this is going to be theirs to take.
And I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, gamerzone, after the high they had after map 1, then to go into this map, can they keep that composure? Can they stay focused? Obviously, a team that they didn't really expect to necessarily be here in terms of the Hungarian teams they're up against. But now that they're here, can they kind of keep themselves, held together at such a crucial time? I mean, if they pulled off a massive victory against MIBR, like, what would that do for them and their careers potentially, And also for the region.
The other thing as well is in the first map, their Orpa was playing out of his mind, and in the second, he was kind of getting owned. So you got to see if he can bring things back on Mirage, especially because, again, it's another double AWP map, which could be quite worrying considering they're facing up against what has been a very strong double AWP setup. We've now seen Fallen have a fantastic map, and then KNG have one straight afterwards, and Fur's playing well as well. So who knows where this is going.
Okay, well, you heard enough from us to break down the game. Let's head back to the small window with small people. Just kidding, they're very big in my eyes over on the desk.
Train, best played with your brain. Fur uses his to inflict the pain, cutting out flanks everywhere on CT. And that's why we had 16-12. But 12 rounds
That could be a song,
still.
by the way.
What's that? You just, yeah? You want to drop a beat for me, Natsu?
No, that ain't me.
You look like a beatboxer.
Yeah, I'm a Finn.
That's a good, very monotone beatboxer.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So, Drowlin, what did you think? 12 rounds is still not bad. I actually was impressed at points in that game. First half, obviously, they were very much in it.
Yeah, so we should start with the first half. Obviously, they look a lot better on that half than the second, obviously, and they were fantastic at shutting down the executes from the MIBR side, right? When they executed, they came in and just picked them off one by one. And I guess a saving grace for MIBR in that T side was obviously Fur. Like we asked in the previous map, where was Fur? Well, there you go.
Yeah, I think that was much better. I also think KNG hitting multiple doubles over on the B site was quite something. On 14 rounds, they took down Taco with a good flash at upper. KNG just goes, yeah, whatever, I'll just kill 2 at once, no big deal.
Yeah, I thought this map pretty much reflected the way that I thought the first map would have gone, right? It's going to be rather close, but then at the end of the day, MIBR with their superior skill and experience will come in and kind of start bullying them, right? As we saw in the later stages of that train. But yeah, I think the first half, it felt to me, that for whatever reason, MIBR playing into the late rounds a lot of the time. They were down like the last 20 or so, and then just lacked utility to make those pushes. The aggressiveness of the CT side playing E-box and towards the T main, they just did not, MIBR guys did not have the flashes and then be able to flash out the CTs afterwards, and did not trade so that they had a man advantage going to the bomb side. So it's pretty tough to win a round when you are all the time down in numbers in those situations. But saving grace for them, obviously, is just picking up, 3 rounds in the end of that T half to make it a 7-8. So obviously gave themselves a chance.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse. We certainly saw
Way
the
worse.
outside sight become a point of contention for them. I did mention sort of the rifle aspect, MIBR not necessarily having that firepower. You mentioned the trades. Utility was a factor in that. I still don't know what I think of the rifle composure right now from MIBR without a guy like Cold.
I don't know if they know
Is it Lucas
themselves.
or Taco? And Taco said that. I suppose I'm the support player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you definitely have a very strong setup on the AWP, but as you mentioned, the rifles are still a bit of a question mark. Like Fallen mentioned that, sure, like KNG arriving does alleviate me and Fur to an extent, but what about Taco and Lucas, right? Maybe their positions have been changed up a little bit, which does cause them some discomfort. And generally, Lucas, he's praised for at least Fallen praised him for his ability to be that anchor on the side. So he definitely needs to step up as the rifler because that is a core aspect of MIBR's game plan.
Mm-hmm. And otherwise, Fallen himself's going to have to get more aggressive with it and not just run that double up setup. Switching focus, Mirage. It's not like it's a foreign territory for gamerzone. In fact, they have an 80% win rate, but lesser opponents, obviously, and 5 maps only played. So I won't read into that too much. Obviously, MIBR have played much higher opposition on it.
Yeah, I think a sigh of relief, obviously, for MIBR being able to kind of be as dominant as they were in the later stage of that second map. I think that would bode really, really well for them. For the gamerzone guys, I mean, you kind of have to just really reset, go into the third map, not thinking of how they were losing rounds, because it was all. I think we might be seeing a lot more from MIBR in terms of just kind of try and shut the Hungarian guys down before they get anywhere near to do any damage.
This is also, just to note, the first best of 3 with KNG, because obviously they played best of 1s in Moscow. So it does give them a chance to build into it, to sort of get to know the mentality. I don't normally touch on seeding position, But I do find it's very interesting that Fallen's in the middle, Lucas is on one side, KNG's on the other. Obviously, Fallen has to get to know them if he's going to be in-game leader, and he can see both their screens very quickly. What do you make? I mean, I guess, what do you make of that, Natsu? Because you're the experience here. I mean, is that important? Is it that him trying to vet them into... I guess my question is he trying to learn them, or is he trying to mold them?
I think it kind of goes both ways, right? You try to learn from the new players you bring in and kind of try to use whatever good aspects or the way that they like to play to implement in the system that MIBR is. But at the same time, yes, obviously you kind of want to put them into your system, right? So I think it just works both ways. I don't think you read into it too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just interesting because obviously he's got his trusty compadres at either end. He can keep an eye on them. I think that getting to know them is important. Dralin, though, moving to Mirage, players to watch on gamerzone, because this is going to be a big test. Again, we touched on the AWP already. Yes. I think we can leave that aside. Yeah,
so obviously the AWP, as you mentioned, but also what's amazing on Train is this was the Corey in the House show. Like especially in the first half, he was amazing. So if you can deliver that type of performance alongside, of course, Torji on the AWP and with the complementary players also fragging out, I think that is the win requirement for them here.
All right, well, we'll see if that works or not. Map 3, our first series to go 3 maps so far today, and that means we get to enjoy it once again with 2 casters who deserve some praise. Tom Biz and Kaplan have been working all day long, and they aren't stopping now. We're going to take a break, and we go back with them in-game.